Hi, this is Simon Upstell and welcome to another tutorial for Apple Motion. And today I want to show you how to make this kinetic typography effect. So you see we've got this interesting dynamic interaction between the three lines of text. And once we've set up the basic rig, there's quite a lot we can do to customize it. Let's take a look at how it's done. Okay, for this project I'm going with 1920 1080 24 frames a second, duration of 3 seconds. First thing I'm going to do is come down and select the text tool, type out my text. I'm using this font called Druk Medium. I'm going to center align it, come over to properties and reset the position. Let's make it nice and big. I'm going to go with 410. I'm just going to adjust my baseline so it sits pretty much centrally. Go with -160 for that. So then I'm going to take this group and I'm going to make a clone of it. So right click, make clone layer. And I'm going to turn off that original group. If we want subsequently to change the text or the font, we will be able to do it from within that original group. Okay, so I'm going to call this clone lower and I'm going to duplicate it. So right click, duplicate. I'm going to call this one middle. I'm going to duplicate it one more time. Right click, duplicate. And I'm going to call this one upper. So this upper one, I want to move it to 320 on Y. The lower one, the opposite way, -320 on Y. Right, so then what I want to do is I want to link up the middle to the upper and lower. And what I want to link is the four corner. So let's come over here and turn on four corner and show. So let's open up all four of those because what I want to do is I want to link the Y positions to the upper and lower respectively. So let's start off with the bottom left Y. Add parameter behavior link. So the bottom left is going to be linked to the lower top left. So grab the lower, drag it in there. It defaults to selecting the bottom left, but actually what we want to do is properties, four corner, top left, Y. So bottom left to top left. Let's come over and link up the bottom right. So add parameter behavior link, drag in the lower from the menu, properties, four corner, top right, Y. So bottom right to top right. Just to verify that, if we come to the lower and we turn on the four corner and we adjust the top right, you can see how that's working. If we adjust the top left, you can see that works as well. So we've got half of our rig set up. We just need to do the same with the upper. So let's come back to the middle. Let's select the top right, add parameter behavior and link. Select the upper, and again, we want to swap that around. So properties, four corner, bottom right, Y. And one more time, select the top left, add parameter behavior link, use the upper as the source, and instead of the top, we want the bottom. So properties, four corner, bottom left, Y. Just to make sure we've got that right, let's turn on the four corner for the top. So if we adjust the bottom Y like that, that works. And this one here, that works as well. So what we're actually going to then do is create a rig that we can attach all of this to. So object, new rig, and let's click on slider, which is what we want as our control. So then let's come over to the upper. And what we want to do is we want to link the bottom left and the bottom right. So I'm command selecting both of those, and I'm going to drag them onto the slider. I don't want to use just the Y because then that'll make the slider confusing because the name will disappear. So come back to the lower, and here I want to select the top right and the top left. So command click on those and drag them onto my slider. So now if we come over to my slider, you can see we've got the controls that we need. Let's look at the lower first of all. So I'm going to start off by setting the top left to -90, the top right to +90. Let's move on to our upper layer. And then this one, I want to go the other way. So -90 for the bottom right, and for the bottom left, we'll go with 90. And then we just need to reverse those. So we've got -90, +90, -90, +90. So let's select the other end of the slider. So +90, and then -90, and +90, and then -90. And then if we move the slider between those two positions, we have our animation. Let's just maybe make it a little bit more fun. Let's come over and add a background. So drag that in behind everything else. Come over to the inspector. Let's select a different color for that. Let's select the upper. Let's come to filters, stylize and fill. And let's pick a nice color for that. And let's copy that fill and paste it onto the lower. Then let's animate our slider. So come to the first frame. Let's keyframe the slider. Let's come to 36 frames and set the slider to 100. And then come to the last frame and set it back down to 0. And then what we'll do is right click here, showing keyframe editor. So let's just adjust these keyframes. Let's drag around that first one. I'm going to hold down the Shift and Command key, and I'm going to drag to the right like that, roughly to around there. I'm going to select the last one and again Command Shift drag to around there. And then I'll take this middle one and just Command and Shift drag till we've got something like that. So now if we take a look at it, you see we get that result. And obviously you can adjust those to taste, but that's kind of the effect. You'll notice that it slightly sort of jitters. Don't worry too much about that. When you render it, it'll be fine. The other thing you do need to do though is to make sure you're on best quality, otherwise it will be a little bit soft, but that is looking pretty nice like that. So obviously we don't have to use exactly the numbers that I've chosen there. Let's just reset the slider. So right click there, reset parameter, just to set ourselves up in a different way. And what I'm going to do for that first position is set this lower left to positive 90 and this top right to negative 90. I'm going to come to the end of that slider and just reverse those. So negative 90 and positive 90. And then we get this effect. So it's a different option there. So probably quite a few options you could actually look at that would give you a different look. And of course, we can come back into our original group, as I mentioned. So there's our original group, our original text. We could swap out the font, so we could go with Druk Wide instead. Obviously, we'd need some different words here. So let's have Sheer Fun or something. And we'd need to reduce the size quite a bit like that. And the other thing we would need to do is just adjust the vertical positions of the upper and lower till they actually work. So bring that down to say 175 and bring this up to negative 175. And that's ended up not entirely in the center. So we could come back to our text here and just adjust the baseline, and you can see how adjusting the baseline to match the point size is the right way to go. So anyway, I hope you have fun with that. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon.